Here's a quick refresher for the fish tank. So this is the pump, which will be in the laundry room. So you place the pump into the tank, and then the tube, when you're draining, rest it on the back of the radiator, if you can see, because it gets heavy, and otherwise it can pull this out of the sink and it just makes such a mess. So then I just trap it behind this, and then the end goes into the sink. So that's the setup to drain. And then all we have to do is plug it in. And you'll hear it start up. And as it pulls through, you just make sure it's not making a mess this end. Okay, that's the first part. I've put this little bit of blue tape on, so just ignore this because I'm doing a bigger water change, but you're only going to take the water down to the top of the tape, top of the blue tape. So that just makes life easier. So the water will be here before you have to start refilling. Okay. So once it's drained down to the top of the blue line, you then just pull out the plug. Then the easiest thing to do is have the square bucket ready. You can just take this off, unhook it from the back, and pop that end into the bucket. She says one-handed is a bit challenging. Right, here we go. There we go. So that can just catch any more water that's going to come out. Stay. A little bit tricky, sorry, filming, and then that leaves you free to come and get this. So just think of it, gravity. So in order to empty the pipe, I'll take this over. That in there as well. And then I'll turn the camera around to film this bit. So you just take this end and just lift it up to drain the water. And it'll just look like that. And that's it. So that's all the dirty water out. Just put it on the tiles because it's very easy to look after. You can just tip the rest of that dirty water out. And now we're ready to start refilling. So pop the square bucket in and start filling the cold water. So now we set it up so it goes the opposite way. So the grey bucket goes in the sink, pump goes into the fresh water, goes behind the grate, on top of the radiator, back up into the tank, and then we just use this little bit of background to kind of wedge it nice and firm there. And so the end is in the tank. So that's our next setup. Alright, now before we start refilling, we've got to put in our dechlorinator. So it's 3/4 of a cap. She says trying to get it in one-handed. Oh, well done, Andrea, got it everywhere. 3/4 of a cap, and that just goes straight into the tank. We splish around. Okay, dechlorinator done. So now we can start refilling, which means just plug it straight back in. You just have to keep an eye on this end as it starts to pull through to make sure that this doesn't go flying, that we've wedged it tightly enough. Grand. And we start refilling. Now this is all the way over to the coldest point, and it will start refilling. Okay, once we're about 1.5 inches from the top, we then just knock it off and pull out the plug. So then start by pulling this bit out, she says. And there we go. And then that means that the tank definitely won't fill any further. And then you just do the same backwards to make sure that the pipe is empty. So this goes back in the bag. Use your bucket. Put that in. And do the same thing again. Just wind it up. Alright. So the tube is empty. Pour out the excess water. And we're done with that part. So the prime water dechlorinator lives in this basket, and you've got a couple of specific fish tank sponges as well if you need them, but that's where you'll find that. And then we just kind of clean it up a wee bit from the splashes that was made. I always make a mess, that's why it's really good to have fish tanks on a tile floor. I just mop it up afterwards. That's it. And we're done with our water change. Come on, Tara. Oh, well caught.